In the headlines, Governor Wike to address aftermath of presidential primaries vows to remain in PDP. Bandits abduct 2 in Kwali Area Council of Abuja as Army redeploys senior officers amid rising insecurity. 23 states Federal Capital Territory receives 24.45 billion naira from conditional grant schemes. And on the foreign scene, New York raises monkeypox alarm as San Francisco declares emergency. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I'm Dashan Hussaina Usman. We begin with politics, where Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State has reacted to the events that have unfolded in the aftermath of the presidential primary election of the People's Democratic Party. The governor, who spoke on Friday at the Port Harcourt International Airport, faulted the speech by the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar on the day he unveiled Governor Ifeanyi Okowa as his running mate, while accusing the former vice president of telling lies against him, as well as using some chieftains of the main opposition party to spread falsehood against his person. The governor vowed to respond to both the party's flag bearer and the party chieftains, whom he described as Atiku's attack dogs, one by one and line by line in due time. He said posterity will not forgive him should he fail to set the record straight, and promised to clear the air after the commissioning of the projects lined up for inauguration by the state government. The immediate past Minister of State for Education, Chukwuemeka Nwajiuba, and a group Incorporated Trustees of Rights for All International have filed an originating summon before a federal high court in Abuja, seeking an order declaring Nwajiuba as the authentic presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress. They also prayed the court to cancel the votes obtained by the APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu, as well as the flag bearer of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, for bribing delegates with dollars, and presented 26 issues for determination by the court. He specifically asked the courts to determine whether the composition of the delegates contravened Article 11 subsection A, 12 subsection 1, and 13 subsection 1 of the Constitution of the APC. He prayed the court to decide that, having regard to the express provisions of paragraphs 1 and 8 of the 5th schedule of the 1999 Constitution, the alleged corrupt conduct of Tinubu and Atiku in buying votes and inducing delegates with dollars and naira to secure their votes at the Special National Convention disqualifies them from further seeking, contesting, and holding the office of president. As the continuous voter registration closes this Sunday, July 31, registrants in the FCT are still trooping to registration centers to be enrolled. At some registration centers, prospective registrants decry the inadequate machines and personnel for the exercise. Musa Luka reports.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has extended registration to July 31st. As the extended date draws nearer, registrants still in mass visit registration centers to be captured. Speaking to some registrants at the registration centers, some expressed pride that they have been visiting for days but still could not register due to lack of proper coordination and inadequate machines.
No machines. If there were at least 10 to 15 machines here, you would see the work will go faster. It's not possible to achieve a good result with just 2 machines. It's not possible. So I don't know if this news could get to the authorities in charge to increase the number of personnel, maybe machines or even laptops or something to make the work easier.
To make it easy for people like us that have gotten it, but one or two things happen to our PVC. We are supposed to just go to INEC office and show them. Then they will log in. If Nigeria has a good data system base, we are not supposed to be here. But now that they joined all of us together, both the new people and those that wanted to transfer and those that want to apply for new ones, look at this is the result. There is no line there is nothing.
The whole situation is nothing to
somewhere they will say because police people are not. I'm trying to tell the police people that the whole people should go out remaining 10 so that the boy will not comfortable to attend to them. He said no, that I am shouting. The whole crowd now going to. How can one person
3 days?
Only one person. Now one person.
My advice to the INEC is that they should provide more machine so that to enable everybody just get registered and go their way.
Registrants plead with INEC to extend the registration exercise again as the desire by citizens to participate in the election next year is rising. Musa Luka, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Similarly, core members in Ogun State staged a sensitization rally ahead of the July 31st deadline given by the Independent National Electoral Commission to suspend the exercise. The rally is in Shagam, is to enlighten people on the need to register for the permanent voters card as a means to contribute to the decision-making processes in the country by voting a candidate of their choice. The rally, organized by the Legal Aid Group of the core members in Shagam local government area of Ogun State, is part of their Community Development Service, a mandatory part of the National Youth Service Corps. The PVC campaign rally, which commenced from NYSC Secretariat, ended at the Shagam-Benin Express Junction, where the Legal Aid CDS Group lead, Michael Kanu, addressed people on the endless gain a citizen of the country can get by having a PVC. On security, a fresh attack has been recorded in Kwali Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory amid the rising insecurity in the nation's capital. According to a resident of Chida community, Dangana Musa, a driver alongside his conductor was abducted in the latest attack which occurred on Thursday evening. He said the driver, identified as Atazamu Azaki, and his conductor Ayuba John went to load charcoal at a farm in the area when the bandits broke in. Musa added that the kidnappers, who wielded sophisticated weapons, whisked the duo away at gunpoint, but later released John, who was asked to go and inform the victims' family members about the abduction. Spokesperson of the FCT Police Command, Ade Josephine, is yet to officially confirm the kidnap incident. Some soldiers were reportedly killed when Boko Haram terrorists raided a military checkpoint around Zuma Rock in Niger State on Thursday night. The area close to Madala town is a few meters from Zuba along the Abuja-Kaduna highway. A source told Daily Trust that the attackers arrived at the spot some minutes after 7 p.m. and opened fire immediately. The attack comes amid heightened tension in the Federal Capital Territory over likely terrorist attacks. Still talking security, the Nigerian Army has redeployed senior officers in a major reshuffle that affects some principal staff officers of the Army headquarters, general officers commanding, corps commanders, commandants of training institutions, brigade commanders, and commanding officers, among others. This comes amid the renewed attacks by terrorists and other armed non-state actors, as well as a day after the military authorities said they have adopted a new strategy to tackle the threats in the country. Brigadier General Onyema Nwachukwu, who is the Director of Army Public Relations, announced the redeployment of the officers in a statement on Friday. He said the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahaya, has approved the posting of some senior officers of the Nigerian Army to command instructoral and staff appointments across the service formations and units. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has reinvigorated the G7 security operations to secure the territory. The G7 security operations involve collaboration and partnership with states that are contiguous to the territory. A statement by Anthony Ogunleye, Chief Press Secretary to the FCT Minister, said the FCT Commissioner of Police, Sunday Babaji, made this known during the FCT Monthly Security Committee meeting. He explained that the operation would involve taking the fight to the bandits and terrorists in their camps, which are mostly located in states bordering the FCT. The police commissioner, however, called for the collaboration and cooperation of residents of the FCT to provide actionable and timely intelligence to the security agencies. Still talking security, people of Kadisau village in Faskari local government area are fleeing to towns and villages presumed safer following a threat letter allegedly sent by a terrorist kingpin, Adamu Aliero. The handwritten letter in Hausa language was sent to the people of Kadisau village and obtained by Trust TV in Katsina. Abdullahi Ahmadi tells us more.
Kadisau is a farming community in Faskari local government which has been attacked repeatedly by terrorists in recent times. The worst among the series of attacks on Kadisau village is the one which claimed over 100 lives, including women and children. During that attack, over 500 animals were also rustled and properties worth millions of naira destroyed. Sometimes I begin to wonder if really there is leadership or government in Nigeria. People are being killed daily by terrorists and they move freely as if they are paid to kill. In this letter sent to the villagers not certified by Trust Television News, Adamu Aliero claimed that Kadisau village was attacked because some innocent Fulani people were once gruesomely murdered in the village. From the time we received the alleged letter, almost 3 to 4 days ago, hundreds of people, mostly women and children, have fled this village. Please, what evil have we committed? Meaning that the attack was a retaliatory one. Besides that, Adamu Aliero claimed that Kadisau attack was not masterminded by him, as alleged by Governor Aminu Masari and police authorities in Katsina. In the letter alleged to be sent to the people of Kadisau, Adamu Aliero is asking why Katsina State Governor and police authorities in Katsina are saying he attacked Kadisau village. He also went further to ask whether he is the one who attacked Kuje Correctional Facility or the Kaduna passenger train. Far from that, the letter ignited fear and apprehension in Kadisau village, which resulted to many deserting their ancestral homes. The battle is getting tougher by the day. Is this insecurity or is it hunger and abject poverty? Which is which? I'm really confused. The villagers are, however, calling for the deployment of more security personnel and the immediate restoration of peace to all the insecurity-prone areas. Dozens have been killed, hundreds of animals rustled, with unspecified number of people abducted in Faskari, Sabwa, Dandumi, Kankara, Safana, Batsari, Kurifi, Dusuma, and Jibia local governments since the turbaning of the terrorist kingpin, Adamu Aliero. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
In education, the National Union of Benue State students have issued a 14-day ultimatum to the president to end the current ASUU strike. The group says the ultimatum has become necessary as members can no longer tolerate the continued strike, which they say has cost them and their parents untold hardship. The report.
The students, speaking through their president and the president of the Students' Union Government of the University of Agriculture, Makadi, lamented the endless face-off between ASUU and the striking union, adding that the lives of students have been brought to a total standstill.
The message of Benue State students is clear. Federal government should resolve the differences between them and ASUU so that we could go back to our schools and continue with our learning. We therefore wish to hasten Buhari's process so as to resolve his issue. And as such, we the Benue State students are giving him a 14 days ultimatum. The failure to tackle the issue of ASUU strike, we will be going to massive protest.
We, the student union, we are calling on the federal government and even the ASUU members because we don't know any reason or anything that is going on between them. But they should come in alliance and then comply with what the union, any union that involves in the higher institution, they should come together to comply in alliance to comply with them and then understand with them, because there is a saying that when the two elephants fight, the ground is a victim. As a matter of fact, we, the students, are the ones facing this.
Other students who said strike actions have become a norm in Nigerian public universities urged their fellow students to engage themselves in useful ventures while awaiting the outcome of the negotiations.
I've been into the bakery business. I make snacks and supply to people who want it. And I think others should also look for a line to, get themselves meaningfully employed. For Benue State, for example, you can go to the farm. This is the farming season. So many things. So instead of just sitting at home and waiting for ASUU to call off the strike, my dear, find somewhere to make money, and you'll be better off for it when school resumes.
Public universities in Nigeria have been under lock since February 2022, while the organized workers' unions in the country protested Tuesday and Wednesday to compel the federal government to end the 5-month strike.
You're watching Trust News Update. Coming up after the break. Young graduates go into Gari production with help from state government. Do stay with us.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching Trust News Update. Let's take a look at some of our top stories. We told you that Governor Nyesom Wike, to address aftermath of presidential primaries, vows to remain in PDP. We also heard that bandits abduct 2 in Kwali Area Council of Abuja as Army redeploys senior officers amid rising insecurity. Moving on to more stories, access to infrastructure, power, skills and market has been identified as the major challenge facing business owners in Nigeria. The Executive Secretary of Lagos State Employment Trust Fund, Teju Abisoye, who disclosed this in an interview with Trust TV, said the lack of infrastructure, especially power, increased the operational cost of most businesses in the country. The report.
Abisoye said there is a need for the government and private sector to collaborate to address the growing rate of unemployment in the country, adding that with proper engagement, most of the challenges facing businesses in Nigeria would be addressed, while urging the youth to take advantage of the opportunities created by the agency to build their businesses and entrepreneurship skills. Abisoye noted that the agency is committed to job creation.
So I think there's no doubt that doing business in Nigeria or Lagos is not easy because there are many challenges. One is access to infrastructure or power. It's a major operational cost dilemma for business owners. But in addition, I'll say that it's also a challenge around access to skills. So businesses have jobs, but they don't have the right people to take those jobs in the ecosystem. And now then they also have issues around access to market. So some people are producing below capacity because they don't have where to sell it to.
According to her, the funds had created over 165,206 jobs for Lagos residents and intervened in over 49,764 medium and small-scale enterprises, among other success stories.
We've seen situations where businesses have grown from 1 location to 10. We've seen situations where businesses have opened factories. We've seen, so from a small manufacturing hub in the house to now opening a big factory. We've seen where an individual started with a startup loan, has now started another business, running that one and running that other business. We've seen where people have gotten skills and they're doing a lot more than even we thought they were going to be able to do, graduating from our skills training, starting to work, and then able to go back to school to improve that skill.
She said 16% of the agency's portfolio is dedicated to supporting technology and innovation.
Osun State government says 500,000 households have benefited from the food support scheme for vulnerable citizens in the state. The State Commissioner for Special Duties, Olalekan Badmus, said the initiative has multiplier effects, including encouraging young graduates going into Gari production to grow their businesses. Trust TV's Hamid Oyegbade files the report as presented from our studios.
On a monthly basis, 30,000 poor and vulnerable people in Osun State receive free food stuff from the state government. The food is distributed to people in all 30 local government areas of the state. The food support scheme was part of the post-COVID-19 pandemic recovery initiatives and to cushion the effect of harsh economic on the poor, including the persons with disabilities and the aged. At the 16th edition of food support scheme, the state governor, Adeboyega Oyetola, who was represented by the secretary to the state government, Wale Oyebamiji, said 500,000 households, including the vulnerable citizens and their dependents, benefited tremendously from the scheme since its inception last year, April.
16 months ago, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of the State of Osun, Mr. Adeboyega Oyetola, flagged off this food support scheme for the people, for the vulnerables in this state. And he did say on that day that as long as he's in government, he will continue to let it work on a monthly basis.
The State Commissioner for Special Duties, Olalekan Badmus, said the food support scheme has helped young Gari producers to grow their businesses.
Also has been able to reach out to different local governments in the state when Gari is being produced. We actually went through all these local governments to see where Gari production is on. And has also been able to build many entrepreneurs who are young graduates. Part of them are also here today, attesting to the opportunity this program has given to them. With this program, they've been able to increase their staff strength. They've also been able to increase their own local production. They've been able to yearn more for more cassava to be able to meet up to the demand.
Wale Afolabi and Ahmed Raji are among young graduates producing Gari for the Osun Food Support Scheme. They said that their businesses have expanded because of their participation in the scheme. They expressed gratitude to the state government.
So before, if we are producing something like 1,000 bags before, at least in every month the government calls us to produce, at least it's increasing something like 9,000-10,000 bags. So you can see the rate at least from 1,000 to 9,000, 10,000. So at least we are very, very grateful to the state government of Osun.
Yes, before my involvement in this project, I used to engage the number of women, like 2-3 of them, giving them a little amount of money to process the gari for me. And that is in thousands, within the range of 10 to 50,000 when we started.
In business, the federal government says it will start implementing a 5% inclusive excise duty on telecommunication services in Nigeria. The development is coming months after President Muhammadu Buhari approved excise duty on telephone recharge cards and vouchers. Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, disclosed this on Thursday at a stakeholders forum in Abuja organized by the Nigerian Communications Commission. Executive Vice Chairman NCC Umar Ambata said the duty was part of the 2022 fiscal policy measures, adding that it covered both prepaid and postpaid telecommunication services. On the foreign scene, New York and San Francisco have issued monkeypox alerts as cases continue to rise, with the United States facing a shortage of vaccines. Authorities in New York said on Thursday that the virus represented an imminent threat to public health across the state. Health Commissioner Mary Bassett said the declaration would help health departments engage in response and prevention activities to access additional state reimbursement. Meanwhile, in San Francisco, California, authorities declared monkeypox a local public health emergency. Mayor London Breed said the risk of disease remained low, but the declaration going into effect on August 1 would help in the mobilization of resources. And finally, in sports, Nigerian Football Federation has recognized Chikwulue Iloyosi, former international footballer, as the chairman of the Anambra State Football Association. The recognition came barely 2 years after the Anambra State Football Association election held on October 30, 2020. A letter signed by Joshua Onoja, Secretary NFF Electoral Committee on July 28 says Iloyosi was the only candidate qualified for the election based on the findings of the Appeals Committee. The letter stated that the idea of voting for or against a sole candidate was a serious aberration that should not be allowed to stand. According to the NFF, if a new election is held, the petitioner would still stand as a sole candidate. With this, we've come to the end of Trust News Update. Remember to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashan Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.